All right, here we are. Hey, everyone. How's it going today? Hi, everyone who's in the chat already. That's awesome. So today was supposed to be part 3 of our block theme extravaganza. Unfortunately, Daisy isn't feeling under the weather again today, so we are going to talk about some other things, but I think they're pretty exciting. I got 3 things that I kind of want to talk about, but I'm open to whatever. First thing is this concept of block locking. So there's been a lot of chatter in various places around things like, I'm going to switch over to this. There's been a lot of, thanks for the subscribe, Alex Quadradev. Yep, that's how I'm going to say that. There's been a lot of chat around like full site editing and like how to lock things down. People are concerned about like clients be clienting and breaking their beautiful layouts and everything. And there's a bunch of ways that we can do that. I'm going to look at one that was just released in 5.9. It was in the Gutenberg plugin prior to that, but it's in 5.9. It's called block level blocking, and I've got a little plugin that I want to share. So I'm going to switch over to my other thingy here. So first thing is, this is a repository and you just ignore that because there are no error issues in my code. I'm going to drop that in there. So this is a repo that I put together for to demonstrate block level locking, and it's kind of cool. Basically, it introduced a new attribute. There is also a dev note for it too, which I can link here. It's also linked in the repository as well. So I'm just going to paste this in chat and you'll take a look at that. Cool. So the idea behind this is that there is a new attribute called lock, and it's an object. It has two, you can't see that at all, can you? It's got 2 parameters. It's got 2 properties, move and remove. And so basically what it does kind of what it sounds like. If you have move set to true, it means that moving is locked. So you can't move it. So it's sort of, yeah, and the same for remove. If lock.remove is true, it means you can't remove the block. So what does that look like in practice? Oh, thanks for the follow, Sarah and 456. Cool. Anyways, so that is going to be that. So let's look at some code. So I'm in the Twitch. I'm in my Twitch repository. I'm going to be not uploading any of this code because it actually exists in the repo that I just linked to in there. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So we look at some code. So what I have, okay, you know what? I'm going to back up a bit here. First, I'm going to show you what the plugin does. So the plugin does a few things. Plugins installed. I'm going to activate this block level. So the first thing it does is it creates trying to demonstrate a few different ways that you can lock things. There's a block level, there's a template level, and there's a pattern level. So let's look at the block level first. So I'm gonna add a new post. I'm gonna call this block. Oh my gosh, block level locking. Okay, and I'm going to insert one of the 2 blocks. So I have this block called feature block level locking. So this is a custom block that I made. And basically the way it's built out is to, it provides some controls over here on the right-hand side. So you can see, so right now, this current status of this block, if you were to look at its attributes, would look like this. It's got, the default values are move and remove are both set to true, which means you cannot move this block and you also cannot delete the block. So we can change that in here. So I've now set this to, locked. Oh, sorry. Move is movable. So we should be able to move. Why is this not moving now? Oh, because there's nothing above and below it. Okay, I'm going to insert a block. I'm just going to insert a paragraph block. Down, where did that go? Oh, down here. I'm just going to grab some dummy text. Copy that. I'm going to paste that in there. And then so I'm going to move this up. I'm going to do another paragraph block down here just so we can demonstrate this. All right, so I'll save this draft. So I might just zoom out a bit so you can see this process a little bit better. Okay, cool. So I've got a chunk of text, my block, chunk of text. If I come in here and I set the move to be locked, you can see I've lost my up and down arrows, my ability to move things around there. If I set this to movable, I can now move this block where it needs to go. But, however, I cannot delete it until I set that to be removable. Now, you wouldn't probably want to provide these controls to your clients to, in your block. This is just meant to be a demonstration purpose. This is meant for demonstration purposes is what I'm trying to say. Welcome to the chat, everyone. Thank you for everyone for joining. Appreciate you all. Cool. So yeah, so in this block, this also allows you to copy some source code too. So if you're working on a block, you can get the configuration that you want. You can copy that, and if you come over to your block.json, I'm just gonna paste it. You can see that it'll actually copy and paste whatever those values were. So I'm not gonna save that. Okay, so that's at the block level. So the other thing that we can do, I'm going to make it removable. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete. Okay, the other thing that we can also do, I'm just going to delete all these paragraphs here. The other thing that we can do is you can also nest things, right? So this is a block that contains inner blocks, right? So this is and this whole thing is created via a template, and I'll show you the code for this in a second. But you can see that the whole thing is locked. I can't remove it. I can't do anything, right? And then down in here, I still have the ability to move this around. So, yeah, let's look at some code. Oh, Cat Learner, if you want to add a special feature to a block theme, such as search button, when clicked, opens a full screen overlay. Should I make a new group or block for this, or would I add a search menu item with a custom class and use custom theme.js to do this, thinking of best practices? Whew, that's a bunch right there. Let me read that again. Well, if you're doing this in a block theme, it'll have to be a block, because the blocks are made up of block themes are made up of blocks. So the short answer, I guess, without really understanding the full what you're trying to do, is yes. You'll need a block to do that. You'll need a block to be the place that is displayed on the page, and then your block can handle whatever it needs to do with overlays and all that stuff on the front end. I think that's how I would approach that, but that's a pretty nuanced question. But I think that's what I would do. Cool. Okay, so let's look in, no, not in there. So if I look at my includes, I've got blocks. So I look at my block level nesting. I'm just gonna shoot my mic out of the way here. If I look at the block.json, really the only attribute that this block has is this lock attribute, and it's got object, and it's got default moved to set to true, and remove is set to true. So again, if it's set to true, it means you can't do it. It's sort of like a double negative, maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit, yeah. So if something is true, it is locked. That thing is locked. Let's put it that way. Cool. So that's pretty straightforward about this. Does anyone have any questions about just this idea in general? I mean, I'm going to assume no. Welcome to the chat, Paul Bird, Cat Learner. Thank you. If not, I'm going to go. Welcome to, Dave Bumwall. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let's look at the nested block example. Again, the block itself is nested. Is locked. The inner blocks here. Sorry. I've got block props. So I've got an inner blocks. I've got a template lock of all, and then I've got a template, which is just basically, it's got a paragraph, some content in it. It's got my custom block that sits inside of it, and then it's got another paragraph. And then it says, I'm setting a loud block that you're only actually allowed to insert new blocks in for that. So I guess one thing that I did want to demonstrate about this is that, so if your inner block is set to all, it means everything's locked. Can't move it, can't delete it. It's locked, right? But the inner block, the block level stuff inherits will override that. So because everything is set to locked now, I can actually come back in and still set this to be unlocked, and we can do that at the code level too. So that's an important differentiation, and it's laid out pretty well in the dev node, and also in the repo README, where it tells you sort of how things will work, and how they kind of work together with template lock and all that. You can do, okay, so that's that. So the other thing I wanted to show, I feel like I'm moving pretty fast through this. Anyone have any questions about this? Does this this seems pretty straightforward. It's just an attribute that you can add to your blocks. And it's supported in 5.9 now, so you can add it to all your blocks. And yeah, you can control on a block level what gets locked and what is not locked. The other thing is it's filterable. What's the lock for again? I missed it. Okay. So the lock controls whether or not the block can be moved inside the block editor or removed from the block editor once it's been inserted. So if I look at, I can't delete that. So if I look at this block, if my attributes are set like this, this means that this block can't be moved inside, and it cannot be deleted. Now, but if I said that I wanted it to be deletable but not movable, you can set this, and then now if I come up in here, you can actually remove this block from the block editor. So can you have one block be a dependency of another? No. I don't think so. You could do it so there's like you could set that up with like a block pattern, maybe. Like what would be the use case there, Florida Coder Man? Like when I insert one block, I need to have another block inserted with it. Because if that's the case, I'd probably do some kind of block pattern or template to do that, I think. Again, it depends on the use case. So the cool thing about this is that let's say you add a video that comes with a transcript. Yeah, I would do, oh, I see. I would, so the content of those, so okay, so to do that, I think you're going to need to have two blocks. You need some kind of video block, some kind of text block, right? And you could insert those together as a pattern, and then put in your content as you need it. That's probably the way to do it. I mean, if you're writing something very custom, I've done some things where you can like if you insert something, if it's a specific type of block, you can like force where it lives inside the block editor, but that gets pretty in the weeds. So I'd probably do something with a block pattern. So at least when you insert like video with transcript pattern, you'll have a video block, and then you have your text block, and then you fill in the contents of those blocks. Hope that helps. Yeah. So because this is just an attribute, this is really cool. Because this is an attribute, you can filter it. So I've actually set that up here. Let me see if I can show this a little better. So what I want to do, I am going to, in my plugin, I'm going to, any list block, core list block, is going to be locked, and I will lock it down completely. So if I put one in, I can't move it. You may not want to do this, but this is just an example of what you can do because it's an attribute. So now if I come in here and I go list, I should be able to put a list in. And now you should see that I cannot do anything with this list. I can't move it. I can edit the content as much as I need, right? But I can't delete it. I can't do any of that stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. Is it impossible to No, it's not impossible. I guess it depends on the context. If somebody inserts a block, if you're a user, yes, it's impossible to unlock it. That's the point. If you provide controls for your block, like I did with these are just some custom controls that are messing with the attributes that are associated with this block. It is, yes, so it is impossible to unlock it at a high level. I think it would probably defeat the purpose of locking if anyone could just unlock it. Now there's things that you could probably add, some controls. You could be, one tool, one block control another block. Not without some custom magic, no. This block level locking is just for this particular block. Give me an example there, Florida Coder Man. Because we're sort of like merging a bit into like state updates sort of thing. I would imagine. I think. Because you want to have one block react to the state of another block. Is that sort of what you're getting at? Because you can do that with context, but that's a parent-child thing. But the locking, I'm trying to remember if the locking is actually inherited. Template lock is inherited, I believe. Block locking is not inheritable. Okay. If a block is locked from being removed, its children can still be removed. Okay, so template lock locks all the things, and yeah, you can have one block locked depending on the state of another block. Yeah, you would want to do that. Okay, that is a good example of filtering the attributes or having a but that's going to be a bit of custom work. So you're like, are we talking about two? Like you could have. Yeah, it would. I mean, you would have to have an example here probably. But if you're talking core blocks, like if you wanted to be like, if the first paragraph block has more than X amount of words, then lock this custom block. You could do that. You could probably do some things where we're in the weeds a bit, but you could subscribe to events in the data store and you could do some magic. It's possible to do what we're talking about, but it's not like an API level thing where you just add it to your block.json and that would work. It's a cool idea though. Oh, Paul, I see you redeemed my mission completed, which I got rid of, so I'm sorry. So thank you for redeeming that though, Paul. It was supposed to be this cool overlay, but it didn't really work out that well. So I'm going to be doing some other ones. Great questions though. Thank you. These are great questions. Okay. Cool. So we've talked about filtering. So this is a standard filter blocks.register block type, and we would filter this the same way that you would filter any core block or any existing block. This is just filtering, so it makes sure that this only affects the core list block, and this is just returning. This is just adding my lock to the existing attribute. So it's all pretty straightforward stuff. These examples all exist if you Google Gutenberg block filters. So that Now, so the next part that I wanted to show is we actually have a template. So I have some things in my PHP file here. Let me just refresh my idea. Okay, so, oh yeah, I just added a block category. Okay, so block level locking, what is this? So I'm registering a block type, sorry, a post type here called block level locking, and I'm giving it a template. So you can see that I've registered my post type. I am custom post. Sorry, what is this doing? Oh, this is registered my block. Sorry, this is registering my post type, and this is giving it a template, and it's locking everything in the template, right? So if I add this new, now this is not new to 5.9. This has been around for a long time. The ability to add a template to, like, when you create a new post type, that's not new, but this is the same idea. This is all locked. I've got a paragraph above, I've got a paragraph below, it's all been locked, but you can still have your internal blocks override this. So if I wanted to, I could come in and add some more, I could add some more attributes here, which I'm doing on the fly, and I think it's going to be lock. This will be another array, and we'll say, doesn't really matter, I guess, because I can remove and then true. Is that I think that might do it. I don't know. I might have to Google that again. Welcome to the chat, Adam. Welcome to the chat, Commander Root. I'm going to add a new one of these. Let's see what I've done here. Okay, yeah. So it's move is undefined. I done broke something. What is this? That's interesting. I wonder if it has to be like that. Huh. I haven't really figured that out yet, but that's fine. So still undefined. Movable, locked, true, movable. Okay. Weird. All right. Well, anyways, I'm just not doing it properly, but there's a way to do that for your attributes. Oh, wait a minute. Which I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. Cool. Anyways, but that's fine. So the next thing that we can do is we can actually register a block pattern. So I've done that, and let's get rid of this. And I'm gonna call this block pattern with block. Cool. So if I come up in here, patterns, I've added it to my text, and this should be down here somewhere. So this is just a random thing that I threw together about 2 minutes ago. But this puts in a block pattern. So this block pattern is locked. Everything is locked on here, right? So we can't remove any of these things. You can still edit them as much as you'd like, and do whatever you want to do in here. But this is an example of locking down an entire block template. And you probably want to do this sort of thing in a, like that idea that you were talking about, Florida Coder Man, about having like 2 related blocks that need to be there, because you're going to want to. This is probably a really great example, because you'd want to have the video block up first, followed by the transcript block. So you want to lock the order in which those blocks are in place, and you want to have both blocks available. So putting them both in and making them both locked would work. You could also do it with a template, but again, templates are like at the post level. So the registering a block pattern is pretty straightforward. It's well documented. You do have to put in like what the database would see. So this is it here. So so these are how blocks are saved inside the database. And we're just adding this right here. So we're locking it down completely. Yeah. Anyone have any questions about that? I mean, all of this stuff, actually, all of this stuff is up in the repo that I put together. So we have a block pattern. It's all in there. Have a read of it. Definitely let me know if you run into any issues on this repo, if you can. And also let me, like, if you have ideas of what you'd like to see, if we can put some cool things together, I'd love to see them. You can also do that here in the official repo for this the official repo. I sound so official. Where for all the code, except for the code that we've seen so far, that's in a different repository, but everything else that we're going to do today is going to end up here at some point. So bring short codes to blocks. I already did that one. Paul? Well, man, I did that one. You can look at that. You probably didn't. It's one of my earlier ones, but no shame for you. Where did I do that? Short code plugin. Right here. So if you look at the repo, look at the shortcode plugin. This has got my shortcode that I created, and then this is the block that does the same thing. There is a YouTube video for this on my channel, which is where's my channel? I just hit 100 subscribers, which is so awesome. Now I've got it's, what is it? It should be, there we go. This is it now. So I'm rambling. I got a channel. You know what? I'm just going to link you straight to the video. I have a custom URL for my channel now, which I'm pretty excited about. So this is the video. I apologize you're going to have to sit through it, but yeah. Jeff, you just, look at you, beat me to it. Thanks, Jeff. But for anyone who's interested, this is actually my whole YouTube channel with the custom URL. I'm so excited about. Curtsy, yes, you, high five. I need a high five thing. That's what I need. Are there any, there's a question here from Cat Learner. Are there any other situations for locking blocks other than to stop clients from breaking site layouts you make for them? Yeah, there's probably a whole bunch. Required blocks it's less about like solving the client is causing problems issue, because the client's paying you to do something, right? So it's not, it's more about content consistency, I think. So yeah, if you have 2 blocks that need to appear in the same post type, that's a way of that's definitely something. there's probably a ton of reasons. I'm not coming up with any good examples off the top of my head right now, but it's more about knowing that it's there. Like you could do something like here's an idea. So let's say that you had a block, like maybe a social share block that you always want at the bottom. Yeah, you could do that for sure. That's definitely something. Yeah, you could. Enforcing it always at the bottom is going to be a little difficult, but what you could do is you could have it be like a template, and you could have the thing at the bottom, and then like an inner blocks instance that sits above that you put other content into, or a group block that sits above that, and then you lock the group block and you lock the social media thing, and then that doesn't move. So that's it. That's again like enforcing content consistency, which can be argued that like, you know, it's to keep people from breaking layouts. But you like say you had here's another instance. So let's say that you were building out some kind of like list block or some kind of accordion style block, and you always wanted to make sure that you had so I've done that with inner blocks. So you have an inner blocks instance that manages like the sort of the UL aspect of that, and then you have the list item is represented by a block. So if I would build that, what I would do, I'm gonna switch over to chatting again so you can. What I would do is I would have my template when I inserted the block. I'd have my template auto insert an item, and it would be great if you locked the first item so you couldn't remove it, because then you're always guaranteed to have one, and then you know they can add as many more as they want, but then you lock that first one. But that would be a case where you'd want to lock it, but you wouldn't, like you wanted to, you'd want them to be able to sort it, I guess, but you would also you would want them to not be able to remove it, because then you could just have a block that would be empty. I don't know. That's an idea. So it's it's pretty powerful actually, and because it's an attribute, it's even more powerful because you can lock anything you want. Hey Greg, welcome to the chat, man. Good to see you. We're talking about block locking. So if you have questions about stuff, you ask this guy. He knows everything. So I guess we can move on to block locking. There's some other really cool things that you can do. You know what? Since we're talking about like full site editing and trying to keep people from breaking things, one thing that I was sort of messing with the other day is if you have a theme and you want to enable some of the theme.json stuff, like you can just add a theme.json to your site, and that you'll get, that's like what we're referring to as like a hybrid theme, I guess. Let me jump back to my code here. So what I was playing around with yesterday was in the 2022? No. Which one did I do then? No. You know what? Let's just look and see which one of these things is. I'm going to just, sorry, one sec. I'm just going to disable this thing for now. I'm going to see. So let's say, so I'm using 2021. This is the original 2021. It's not a block theme. It just is what it is. Now, I don't recommend, and please don't mess with any of the default themes that come with WordPress. For the sake of what we're doing now, let's pretend that this is a custom theme that I've built, or that whatever, or it's a client theme, right? And this does not have theme.json in there, right? Thank you for the follow, Cat Learner. Appreciate. So if I look at 2020, what am I? 2021, which is right in here. So I've added a theme.json. So this is like the most basic thing that you need to add this. Now, if I get rid of this, let's just, right? You can see that, and I go to all my posts. I'm just gonna go, I guess I have to add one. Right, this is all pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just gonna add a bunch of paragraphs and whatever in here, right? Whatever theme, just call it that. So you can see that, like, the colors are all defined and everything, all that stuff. So if I add a theme.json, I add that back. this is going to, so if I don't have this, first of all, let me just get rid of this. Let me show you what'll happen here. So what's going to happen is we're going to, oh, I lost it. Okay, so you see that all this stuff just shifted here. It's because we didn't have a layout size set. So the very basic that you need is this. So I put the schema in, version 2, and then a layout content size. Now I got this from within the theme. So if you're going to be doing this, you're going to know what theme sizes, and, you know, width, content widths, and all that stuff. So that'll be on you to figure out. But no, not that. I'm gonna grab. Sorry, I should have saved this before I started rambling on. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of paragraphs in here and test, and I'm gonna go save draft. So you can see now you see we've got all these colors. So this is something that I'm correct. Oh, hold on. Not blocking. Color palette. Remove on one. Yeah, a nice way of turning off blocking options. Yes, Adam, you beat me to it. This is exactly what I was going to talk about here. So we can see that the theme is defining some things, but then we've got these default colors, and then we've got, like, you know, all this stuff. We don't want this extra stuff, right? Paul Byrne. Can we explore how we can create templates for the archived and single, and how to detail the postman and try to work with the best practices? Paul, yes. Can you do me a favor and create an issue on the repo that I linked for Twitch in GitHub, and we will put that together, because that's a lot. There's a lot of pieces to that, but that sounds like something that would be really great. And actually, when Daisy is back with us, we're going to be talking about doing an index page and a single post page. And so index and archive are similar. So that might be helpful to you. Cool. So, but just by enabling some of this stuff, or the theme.json, we've got all these extra colors. So we want to lock that down. So you can do that with color. And then I'm going to put this in here. So I have my coffee in the way. I can't see anything. So then we want to look at the default palette, and we're going to set that to false. So if we do that, we should get rid of all this extra non-defined stuff. So there we go. So we got rid of those things, right? So we're slowly locking this down more, right? And then, you know, we want to default gradients. We're going to say false, right? We don't want to. We don't want them to be able to do anything that's not already defined in here, right? What else we got? Custom. So we'll say custom dual tone is also false. I didn't see any commands for that, but this custom gradient is also false, right? You can see what else things, right? So we go in typography. I didn't actually, before I do that, what do we have in typography? So we got all these things, line height and letter casing and all this stuff, right? So if we just say, I think if we just say appearance tools and set that to false, that's going to turn off a lot of things for us. Let's just review here. So what do we got? Let me just refresh that, make sure it's not a caching issue. So the point of me doing this is to really demonstrate that, like first of all, if you've upgraded to 5.9 and your theme, your client theme is not a block theme, you're not going to get any of the theme, like you're not going to get the theme editor stuff. Like you can see that, like over here, there's no option to go and mess with templates, right? One thing that does appear is this here, which is this, that we can now create templates for this. So I didn't have a chance to do some research on this, but I try to see if this is actually filterable away. I'm not sure if it is though, so I'm gonna look at. Actually, Greg, if you're on the call, do you know, or on the call? This isn't Zoom. If you're on the stream, do you know if this template dialog box is document setting panel, if it's filterable away? Yes. I'll wait and hopefully Greg has the answer. So let's see. We'll go into typography. And we say, let's go, what font? Nope. I can't remember what other stuff. So we go custom font size, set that to false. All right, and we can just come back. We can just keep coming back and just like, you know, locking things down further. So there's some sizes there, which I think are defined by the theme, typography, line height, and font weight, line height. False, right? So you can just keep locking things down. Let's just see what we got in here. So like line height's gone now. Letter case, we can probably get rid of that too. What is it? Text transform, I think. Right. And letter spacing, false. So like we can come in and at a super high level, and I keep saying the same thing over and over. I think everyone's starting to get the point of what I'm doing here. But like your typography, right? So you can really tighten up the things that you want to control. And so this is a great way of like introducing theme.json but still controlling what you're doing, right? Like we're not putting template parts in there, we're not putting templates in there, we're not doing any of that stuff. And I need to do a bit of research on whether or not where am I here? Whether or not this template is actually filterable away. So let's do a bit of digging here. That's the whole panel. This is body title. Nope, not that one. What's this one called? Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna search Gutenberg for this. It'll take forever. So yeah. So that might be the one thing that you do have to be aware of, but I'm going to do some digging and I will follow this up somehow. I'll tweet it or something about whether or not we can actually filter that away for now. Cool. So yeah, any questions about any of that stuff? Just looking at the chat here. Yeah, Paul, that's a really, Paul, back to your thing, Paul. That's going to be a probably a theme. Oh, you're talking about having a plugin introduce the theme. That's interesting. I know the templates are actually stored in the database as a post type, so we might be able to do something like that. Cool. Okay. Well, enough with locking. And now we're going to move on to some other stuff, if everyone's cool. Last chance for questions before I move on. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Dunsky. Awesome. All right. So there has been some really cool things. I'm going to change gears entirely here. We are going to talk about two packages that I talk about all the time on this channel that I love: the Create Block package and the Scripts package. They are. I'm really glad Greg is here. If he's around, he might correct me on some things because he's the architect behind a lot of this stuff. So I'll start with the Scripts package. So probably the biggest, most exciting thing for me is, where is it? Is which one is it? Basically now we can have as many blocks as we want. It figures it out for us, which is amazing. Just like absolutely amazing. So where is that? So Webpack, no. Plugin zip. Oh, plugin zip is a nice one too. It does a bunch of things. Okay, here it is. So it scans the source directory for block.json files and then creates an entry point. So if you've seen any of my other streams, we're talking about multiple block things. We don't need to mess with Webpack at all anymore. This just makes it work, and it's awesome. And then it automatically copies block.json in the source into the build directory. So now we don't have to have all these ridiculously convoluted, if we want to control the structure of our plugin, we don't need to have these ridiculous file paths now, which are super confusing. So those are two huge things. There's a bunch of other behind the scenes things that are being done here. We have some fast refresh stuff, which is kind of neat, which I haven't played with yet. But so I'm going to just do this. So in here, supposed to do this. I'm just going to do this manually. I'm going to say a new folder. I'm going to call it plugin. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go, where am I? Okay, plugs. I'm going to go npx. So I don't need that. Okay, I'm using the create block package. It's just going to give me streams. And I'm not going to call it ludicrous speed. That was for a video that I did. So this is just going to create, this is going to use the default setup. I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? Find entry points. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to run that. It's going to create this thing for me behind the scenes. Welcome to the chat. P. Georgiev. So this is just doing the thing. Another thing that actually, while we're doing this, Create Blocks has also got some great updates as well. Specifically, one thing is it no longer installs all the dependencies like the components packages and all that stuff, so it makes this going quickly. That's not English. It makes this go a lot faster. I actually just did a video that I put on YouTube yesterday where I timed it, and it took me 1 minute and 5 seconds to run a command and build everything out and get a working plugin so I can start development. That is so fast. I can't do that manually. That's great. Hey, thank you. Hi, thanks for being here. Yeah, I can't create manual files that quickly. So highly recommend this, and highly recommend using this with some custom templates, which is another big thing that has been changed, right? Okay, so we're done here. So if I look in here, I've got find entry points, right? So if I come back over here, come back to my plugins, what do I call that thing? Where is it? Find entry points. I'll post, okay, whatever. Scripts. Oh man, scripts update. Oh my gosh, I need to get there, Ryan. Type thing. Okay, cool. So now let's look at this. So in here, I've got source. I've got a build. So I should actually now be able to find this block. Should just be there now. So I go find entry point. So that's my block. Great, awesome. This is not new to us. But what's super awesome is what if I did this now? I'll call this entry point. I'm just going to block one. I'm going to take all these files. I'm going to move them in there. Yes, don't you question me. I'm going to do another one and call it block 2. Right? Obviously, you're going to have more creative block names because you are creative individuals. 2 and find entry points block 2. I'm just naming this like this so we can get yeah. So this is a bit manual, but I mean we can figure out ways around that. Block 2. Block the JSON, give it to block 1. Block 1. Okay. So I've got these 2 blocks now. I'm going to go in here, CD into find entry points, clear this out. You do this okay? I'm gonna zoom in. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna go npm run start. npm start. So this is gonna start our dev environment here, and look at that. You can see right now that it's actually found and it's building out 2 blocks for us. So if we look back in build, we've got block 1, block 2. Not only that, it's got block.json in there. It's got everything that we need in there. So let's just go ahead and refresh this page now. We reload this. This is probably gonna break because I renamed those things. So. Oh no. Oh, what have I done? Do I have to update something? Oh, I probably have to update something. Sources, let's look. So in content. Oh, right. That's what I have to do. Apologies. This is not a problem with the system. This is a problem with the operator. So I'm registering 2 blocks here, so I have to actually register those blocks in here. So if I refresh this now, hopefully, with a little luck, we should have find entry block 1. And is there a Interesting. Did it not? Let me just check a couple things. Again, not an issue. All right, update this. Sorry. Still a bit of a manual process to get this stuff updated, but if we had a dynamic block, or what am I saying? If we had like a block template that can manage a lot of this stuff for us, that would be pretty awesome. So let's just see. I don't know. Am I just doing this wrong entirely here or what? Oh no, that shouldn't be it. Oh, this should be right. Oh, this is a what the deuce moment, Jeff Paul. You know, it's funny when you actually go through this. Oh, what am I doing here? When you actually go through this, you know, before doing a stream, and remember running into these same problems, and then forgetting what you did to fix it. Okay, so let's see now. So entry point should be build block 2. That should find that. So let's just. Oh wait. Index 2 points. 2. Let me just make sure I got these things lined up properly. Okay, well, let's just see now. Do a little thing here. Okay, so we got this. What block is this? That's block 1. So, oh, it's right there. Okay. So you see, we've got now 2 blocks. So if we did the same thing here, we just want to add a 3rd block. We'll just. This is a really manual way of doing it, but I just wanted to show how simple it is now. So we don't have to worry about messing with Webpack, having a custom Webpack, having to do any of these things. Oops. It just works. That's awesome. And any other thing is in here. I hope that'll just work out. Let's see. Interesting. I don't know why block 2 is now block 3, but it is, and this is just me messing around, not doing it right. Okay, so let's try this again. Block, oops. So clearly I need to write myself some kind of template to be able to add more blocks to this. Block 3, yeah, thanks, Cat Learner. If you've anyways, I think, okay, so this is dumb, me trying to figure out why I can't type in. Yeah, what is this? This is 3. I'm gonna fix this if it kills me and if everyone drops off. All right, let's try it again. All right. Okay, let's see. Oh my Lord, why is it not showing up? This is driving me nuts. Okay, whatever. Hold on. Block 1, block 2, block 3 is not showing up, and what is 2, 2, 3, 3, Hey, Fabian, welcome aboard. You're just in time to watch me struggle at basic block development. Thanks for... Why is that block not showing up? What is going on here? Hold on. Let's just... This is another what the deuce moment. Where am I here? Content. Entry point build. Block 1, block 2. It's not finding block 3. Have I not registered it? Someone tell me. Put me out of my misery here. Build block 3. Build... It's not built. Okay, well, let's try this then. Okay, I wasn't doing anything wrong. Clearly, somebody else did something wrong. Okay, let's try this again now. There we go, $3. Now, I'm not going to put you through that pain again, but that is just all that to demonstrate that now we can just add as many blocks as we want inside of Source, and the scripts package will just figure it out. And that is super cool. Yeah. So I'd like to find a way to automating all this, and it just so happens that now the create block package has got some really cool new things that we can do with it. Specifically when we're talking about templates, there's a bunch of new template. There's a bunch, like when we're creating our own template, there's a bunch of new options that we can do here. So for example, we have blocks template. So originally we just had the path to the template itself, and then this is an optional. So now we have block template. So this is like where we can actually have nested folders and things in here. Hey Greg, how you doing? Glad you're here. Assets path, default values. So I was gonna try today to create one of these for a dynamic block. Yes. That'd be cool if you typed that and you saw a chat and you saw how many people were in the chat. I might do that. That's a pretty cool idea. I might try to do like a block template for a dynamic block, but a multiple dynamic block. Like be able to do it multiple times. I've never done this, so we're gonna like I created one before, which I streamed about, but this is sort of a different thing here. So how am I gonna do this? So I think what I'll do, let me create a new repo. Actually, do I have a repo already? I do. Project manager, I have this thing. So this is the one that I built that was all dynamic blocks, right? So don't know about that. In your template, so templates, you know. So yeah, really all it needs is this and a templates folder, which are all mustache files. So I have to wrap my head around, I think. The thing that I am a little confused about is what is the difference between the templates path and block templates path. So let's read. So can you read that? Okay. So the templates path, a mandatory field with the path pointing to the location where plugin template files live. Nested folders are also supported. All files without the mustache extension will be ignored. Okay. So that makes sense because that's like that's the template that we're going to use. The blocks template is an optional field with the path pointing to the location where template files for the individual block live. Nested folders are supported. All files without the mustache extension will be ignored. All right, so let's look at this. Templates path, assets path. Okay, I'm gonna cut a branch here. Try updates. to package. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, so if I do this and I add the, where's this thing? What's it called? Block templates path, right? That's gonna be inner template. Okay. I don't know what that's going to do. But I wanted to make it backward compatible. Otherwise, I would call it plugin templates path and block templates path. Okay. So, Greg, let me ask you if you're up for it, and maybe actually we can stream this sometime. That might be a good idea. But anyways, so if I wanted to do something where I scaffold the block, and then I want to scaffold just an inner block, like what I've done, like what I did in here. Like if I just wanted to have, so I ran create block package to create this, and if I wanted to run create block, like from inside of this, if I ran create block package again, would I be able to just have it target this and then plunk something in there? Does that make sense? And if so, is that what I would use the block templates path for? Let's read this again. Block 1 would be the thing you would put in inner template. Okay. And that, but and inner template. So does it need to be like, what I need to do? Let's just try it. Okay. Do they need to be mustache files in there? So if I did edit, and if I just moved all these things, just move those in there. Okay, yeah. Close that. Why is that there? It needs to go away. Delete. Doesn't support multiple blocks yet. But if I ran them, Catler, yes, it is. We've done that in the past, with some other things, because that was a big ask in the community. So there is a way to do that. What's that thing? That might help. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting the impression that there's not a way to have it run, just add another block to an existing one. Like if I wanted to have some kind of command that said, create block, single block, whatever, and then have it just like give me another one of these based on values that I pass it. Because if I do that, it's going to basically if I do that, it's going to basically scaffold an entirely new plugin. I think. So anyhow, okay. So let's just look at building one of these things then. Okay. It's next to this in prompts for multiple blocks. Okay, cool, perfect. You're looking for add block call. Add block. Sorry, Paul, can you expand on that? What do you mean I'm looking for add block call? Okay. Okay, I'm going to close this. We're gonna go through doing a I'm gonna go repo. I'm gonna go make dir, and I think that's it. Oh, good name. This is dynamic block template. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, yeah. That'd be really cool to have something that just said add block, which is something that we could actually build in to our template to, like, you know, so we could add npm create block and just copy stuff and renames things or whatever you want to do it. But that's a different thing. Okay, so I'm going to build out a new template. So that's what this is going to do, right? So in here, we're gonna go through the process of actually building out a new template. So it looks like there's a whole bunch of things in here that we can use. So let's we need to have, I think we need an index file, do we not? And mustache. Okay, so we need to have an index.js, bam. And where is that? That's the thing I'm looking for. We'll just grab this. So this thing's got an index, and we need basically all of this. Is there anything we need? Not actually installing anything here, so I'm just gonna grab this for now. So that's pretty much it. Right, need that. Okay, and then we're also gonna need a folder in here called templates. I think that's what we need. Let's look. Okay, so templates can be whatever we want to call it. Oh, cool. All right, nice. Let's just issue probably some feedback. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. What is that? Oh, that's neat. Okay, that's a big long thing. If you're interested in locking and template locking and how that's gonna shape up in the next few versions of Gutenberg and WordPress, I would take a look at that. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Let me get this down. Okay, so where was I now? Create block. So we needed to have some template stuff, right? So in here, I cannot remember what I did for the last thing. So the template has got, okay, so this is like the structure of our, this is going to be the structure of our plugin, it looks like. I'm just going to copy all this because this is probably stuff I'm going to want to use. Then I'm going to paste it in there, and oh no, not in. What the heck just happened? Let's paste that in. So templates includes plugin into plugin slug. I'm going to delete this for now. We're going to see. I'm going to delete the whole includes folder. There we go. Okay. So I need to pass it then the. I'm going to, instead of calling this template, I'm going to call this plugin. Because this is the plugin scaffold, right? So I want plugin template files left. So we're going to want something like this. I'm going to do this. Right. Template. Templates path is going to be plugin. So now if I run this, where am I here? So I should be able to do LS. If I go npx create, I should just be able to run. What am I doing here? npx and block. And if I just do template. work? So let's see, this should be. Oh, I broke something. It's not done. Hold on. What a break. Source. Template. What is in here? Okay. Oh, did I think I called that wrong. I think I need to pass template in a much different way. Yeah, I did. What am I doing? Okay. Oops. Sorry. Delete that. Okay. I'm going to call it again, but actually call it correctly this time. It's dash dash template dash dash. Hopefully that'll use this working directory as a template. Let's customize. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Test. And yeah. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Let's look in here. Not in there. In here. Ah, come on. Okay, so it is giving us a block.json here. Did I include that in block.json? No. Okay. All right, so that's scaffolding out everything at that level, so that's cool. Okay, now I'm gonna delete the. So this is basically taking everything that we've passed in the plugin templates and putting it in at the top level of where this plugin would live. So there's some things that I want to get rid of. First of all, I'm gonna delete that, and because we don't need this anymore because scripts package takes care of that. I want to keep all that stuff. So what happens now if I add, yeah, it needs to stop. Okay. So if I want to add, where am I now? Block templates path. I don't know what that's going to do, but let's put this in here and we're going to do join, and I'll call this block, like that. Block, yeah. So up here, I'm going to do a folder called block, and then just gonna let me grab this and grab all this stuff. Everything's block.json. I'm gonna grab that, and copy this. This is just so I can see what this does. What have I done here? So in block, I'm gonna go paste. All right, so that should just give us all that stuff. All right, I don't know what this is gonna do. So we're gonna see. Do you have any streams focused on testing from before? I don't. I can. It's a good idea. Drop it in the repo. Anyone who has any stream suggestions, please add them here as issues and tag them with the stream topic or whatever question or whatever you want to do, and we can do some more things on there. I'm happy to do more on testing. Testing is a good time. Okay, cool. So we have that. So let's just see what happens when I run the same command with that template. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it's going to do. We're going to find out together. Oh, right. Test. Yeah. Okay, that's going to install. While that installs, we can just take a look around. So we got a test. Oh, okay. So it took everything that was in there and just dropped it in. Okay, so how, maybe there's something, so how do I tell it that I want it to be inside of a that's how. Folder name, I think. So if I put this default in there, I go, what's this called? Blocks. Yeah, no. Source, why not? Okay, so I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna delete this test. delete. All right, run it again. The mustache files are being used so they can take the parameters that are being either provided in the prompt here or in the defaults, and it's replacing them and adding them in. So when we see these files being yeah, okay, sorry, I should can show you here. So oh my god, oh yes, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Okay, cool. So we had, so you see this here, this test, this is the name of the plugin that I created. So if we look in plugin here, we have slug.php. So slug is the name, is the slug parameter that I passed, and you can see that all of these things are getting replaced. So, and it's not, you don't ever need to apologize for asking questions, Cat Learner. That's why we're here, man, or my friend. Shouldn't say man. I don't know. Apologies. We're all here to learn, so it's all good. Okay, so this is really exciting because now we've got everything that we need, right? So we've got this block.json. So okay, so the block is there, thing is there. So if I want to make this dynamic, what's the best way to do that? So we're going to register our block here. This is not going to work anymore. It's going to be source. Will it? No, it will not. It will be some build. This should be build. This is okay. Oh, I should do it there. Okay, cool. So what other fun and funky things can we add here? Scripts true, false, and dependencies. Oh, nice. So if you want to add our own dependencies, you can do that. Category, namespace, API version, schema. This is great. So it does all this stuff for us automatically. But what other things? So default values. So I think, okay, cool. So this is pretty neat. So I think what we can do here is, so if we want to build a plugin that has a dynamic block, we need to do some things here. So first of all, this is not going to work anymore, or will it? What would be great is if we could have, what would be awesome is if we could have the slug and the block name be different. Does that make sense? Because, okay, so I'm going to create a plugin called My Awesome Plugin, right? But that plugin has got more than one block in it. So I don't want my first block to be called the same thing as my plugin. I want it to be called something different. Is that possible right now? Let's look. Welcome to the chat, join effort. So it doesn't look like it's actually possible at the moment. That's fine though. That's fine because we can do our own thing here. So yeah. All right, so this, we want this to be a dynamic. So if I just did one with a dynamic block, what would I do? So I would want this. This would be in build, right? And it would not be a block name. I'm just gonna do this for now. For that, this is just left over from what I was doing before. Right, so let's run this again and see what we get. Test, and I should automate this. Okay, so I look in here, test. So now, so this is going to look in build. Oh, what did I do that for? So I don't need that. That's clearly needs to go away. Okay, and then we're going to create block test block init. So this actually, you know what? Okay, so the block doesn't need a save because dynamic blocks don't use save. So I'm going to, instead of doing that, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pass a function like that, and I'm going to say it's null. So that's going to do that. Now, so that gets rid of that file. But it also means that we need to have a render callback in here. Not in there though. In the plugin here. So this needs to go away. So that's the path to the thing. And this is going to be on, oh, sorry if I can type it properly. It's going to be an array. And the array is going to have a render callback in it. And that render callback, oh, I know how I'll do it, like this. And we're gonna go, yeah, sure, let's do that. Okay. And takes two parameters at content and block. And then I'm gonna go OB start. And then what might be cool is like require, I'm gonna like pull in the template. Do that later. And then OB get clean. I'm just gonna turn that. So the idea here is that this template will live inside of the block somewhere, and it'll have access to all of the variables. The new file is going to be template.mustache. Okay, so that'll go there. So I go require. How did I do that before? Plugin dirpath file. And it will be in template.php. I think that'll work. And then you put whatever you want inside of there. Okay, let's see. So let's run this again. Okay, let's see. So in the test plugin now, there's nothing in there. That's fine, no. Okay, so now, did this do a build? And Mechanic, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. Oh, it's still installing. So I think, what time is it? It's almost noon. Okay, cool. So this is compiling. Oh, what did I break? I broke something. Scripts build. What? npm. Oh. cd test. npm run start. Okay, that's weird. I've literally never seen this error before. It's interesting. Oh, what? I have no idea. Do I have something in here that's breaking that? Block the JSON. Shouldn't. It's strange that there's no title there, but. Invalid configuration object. It's not REST API schema. Configuration is one of these. Function. I don't. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay. Well, I think I've hit a bit of a roadblock here. I don't really know why this is being so dumb. Maybe I need to do this. I don't know if this is just my schema being all weird, or not my schema, but like my structure being all weird. Let's see. Does the build work? Yeah, nothing works. It's so weird. Yeah, but I'm not doing anything with. I'm not doing anything with Webpack in here. I shouldn't be, anyways. Like, there's nothing. Is that what it is? Nope. Should be an array. So something's going on. I think this is a structural thing. Let's look at the nope. Let's look at remote project manager. Get out of here with this thing. What the deuce is that? Get out of here. Okay. What are we looking at here? So, in source. Huh. The entry file is in the wrong place. Yeah. That is super odd. Okay. Hey Greg, you have any idea why I'm getting this weird Webpack error here? Can you read that okay? It doesn't make any sense to me. Build, copy, build, index, like I'm... That is super strange. So I wonder, like, can I? Let's try linting. Let's run the lint command. Everything I'm running lint. JS. Okay, well that's so weird. Okay, well I don't know what to say at this point. So scripts package looks correct, but the build is just failing, and I don't know why. So it's not finding the entry point. Anything block.json. Referencing JS. There is there's these things. These are like the editor scripts and everything. This is just no, not that one. Should be. Hey T Drayson, welcome aboard. It should be relative to the block. What should be relative to the block.json? Oh, sorry, too many windows. Oh, right. So it should not be in because it'll be in build. So you think this might be the problem? Let's try it. That might be a good catch there. So it should be in build already because it should get moved over. So let's try that. Okay, let me just I'm gonna delete this one because I feel like I've messed with some things here. So I'm gonna run another one. npx. What? All right. Interesting. Done broke some stuff. Oh, sorry. That doesn't exist anymore. Oh God. Okay. I'm flailing, everyone. I'm flailing at the moment. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah. All right, let that run. So Greg, you're thinking it's because it's referencing the build here like this, right? Just strange because I didn't do that. So I didn't add that. So maybe is there a default? What's the default value of editor script? Maybe that's what's getting us here. So I need to update those in my template. It's the default from the create block. Okay, I need to update those in my template. So it's just gonna, okay. Let me try that. Okay, so the issue is that I need to have some defaults values. I need to update these basically these three default values. This is gonna look hilarious. To just be this. Pro tip, don't ever do what I just did. It's annoying as crap to have to fix all this now. And there, oops, there we go. All right, I'm gonna put that in there. So in the test block, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna remove the build port, and try to run it and see what happens. So npm run start. Oh, sorry, ct test npm start. Oh, what? Can't resolve save in the thing. There we go. That's right though, because I'm referring to save, but it's not actually in there anymore because I don't update stuff. So I'm gonna do that in here. I don't need that save anymore. Yes, I like to, nothing says brave like like live demos, right? For people saving lives, and I'm brave for live demoing. Okay, cool. So anyways, so that's working now. So okay, I'm gonna delete this again because what I want to have this thing to be is super duper. Can I just? Oh, I did it to me again. I did it to myself again. Okay, so let's go ls. What do we have in there? Okay, I go npx. Cool. Greg, I have to say I super appreciate you being here. I would not have figured this out on my own. You're, once again, you're the brains. I'm just the looks. That's ridiculous. Okay, so this is installing. This is a thing. Okay, so let's take a look and see what the files are scaffolding out like. So we have a block in there, package to JSON. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually going to install. So this should be installing the scripts package, and it should be doing a build. Greg, do you know offhand if it's an actual build? Like it runs build, I assume. Yeah, and then. Okay, so compiling block. Oh, look at that, it worked. That's fantastic. So now we have a build. We've got everything in here, and it did. Okay, so thing it didn't move is okay. Oh, my template file. Okay, well that's okay, because instead of having to look for it in build, I just have to look for it in source. Hey Greg, you know what would be awesome is if there would be a way to define other things that should get copied into build. Does that make sense? Because I can see, so here's a use case. I can see I built this thing and I want to get it, like I want to deploy it. So, you know, I want to deploy, I want to, what am I saying here? I want to bundle the build folder with my plugin and release it. So having being able to define like a list of things that should go into the build would be cool. And I'd love to help with that. I can definitely help with that. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. So now let's see if this works. The plugin. What's the easiest way to do that? I'm gonna add the. You know what the easiest way to do this is to show it in the Finder. No, it's not. Okay, cool. So there's a really awesome package that we can add to this thing, and actually we can do it in our template as well. So where do we do that? So if you have Docker installed, we can add this. So the WP-ENV package, which we can just add, right? And I think you said it's a true like this. And what this will do is this will add the ENV package for you, and then you can have a local development environment super fast, which is great. And before I do this, I'm just going to start Docker because you need that Docker running in order to work with Docker. So let's come back over here. We're going to delete this, delete, and then we're going to run that again. And so this is going to do this. I have to go, but I will catch up later on how to go. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. A big round of applause for my man, Greg. He's fantastic. I wish he could be here to solve all my WordPress problems. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming. I appreciate you, my friend. Cool. So we're just gonna run through all this stuff. Because I mean, not everybody wants to have needs if you're developing a plugin on its own, then maybe just having its own development environment nice and simple so you can just work on it is the way to go. So we'll see what happens here. It does actually increase the scaffold time a little bit because it has to install the scripts package, and then it also has to install the ENV package. So yeah. While we wait, does anyone have any questions about anything that we've talked about today? So far, or anything you want me to talk about? Silence. It's golden. I'm just gonna drink coffee here loudly into the microphone. All right, there we go. Installing package might take a couple of minutes. Okay, so we're good. So let's see what we got. So now, in our test, in our package.json, so we've got this new package here. So we're gonna have to add another command, and what I like to do is just do env, and then wp env, and then we can pass it other commands as we need them. So I'm gonna cd into test. I go npm run env, and then I'm gonna pass start to it. So I'll link. So there's a package for this, which I will env. It's right here. This is a great little developer tool. Now I will say this: it does require Docker. Now there's some things around. So Docker just changed some licensing things. If you're in a larger company and you make over a certain amount of money, I can't remember, you have to have a paid subscription, or like a paid version for Docker Desktop. I think it's for Mac. So you just maybe want to do. Oh, the env package. Yeah, that's just click that link. What the env package does is it's WordPress specific. When it allows you to set up a development environment. It provides you with a development site, also a testing site, and testing databases and all that stuff. So it's pretty handy. So I just run start, so it's going to configure WordPress. Okay, and so here we go. I have a completely dedicated WordPress environment now for this plugin that I just did. And the cool thing is it recognizes that it's a plugin, and it downloads the latest version of WordPress, and it will automatically, I believe the username and password is admin and password for all these instances. But again, it's all in that link. You should take a look at it. So if we look on our plugins, you can see we've got our, come on, slow. We have our crate block. This is the plugin that I created. I go add new. So let's just see what happens here. And then I guess I need to figure out what the name of this plugin is. What did I call this thing? Name. Oh, I didn't give it a title. I think that's the problem. I'm gonna give it a title here. We'll call it test, like that, and then pm run start. I'm just gonna run the start command now. So it rebuilds everything. Okay, cool. So now let's come over here, reload. Oh, really? Okay. So there's my block that I wrote here. So if I publish this, and I view it, publishing failed. Wonder why that is. I bet there's some kind of PHP error. Yeah, some kind of PHP error. So I think it has to do with in here. So I'm gonna get rid of that and just go, hi there. I think that's all that is, but I just want to double check that. So let's reload this page. Oh, what's that? Oh, I should probably open up my PHP tags again. There we go. Is the path not source? Oh! I thought I changed that. Oh, maybe I didn't update it in the template. Thanks, Paul. That's exactly what it is. I wondered why it was being weird. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna save. We're gonna publish. Yeah. So I didn't get any errors there. So now let's look at the post and see We have in here nothing because there's nothing. So I'm just going to go into the template, which is in source. I'm going to go, this is my template. There it is. Okay. So yeah. And so in here, you can do whatever you want to do in here. You will have access to the ats. So if I go var dump ats, now remember we passed ats as a parameter to the function that is requiring this. So we have it available to us in the global scope. So there it is. This is my template. So that is cool. So all right, now we can just publish this as a you know what, before I do that, I need to put that in there before I forget. Oop, src. I'll pull the template in. Cool. Thanks, Paul. Thanks. That's a great catch. Yeah, and so now we've got a fully functioning dynamic block template that I am going to, you know what, I might just do it right now. Where I need to, there's some busy work I have to do for the, you know what, I'll do it after this, but there's definitely, some busy work that I'll have to do to, like for the package.json of the project and things like that, right? So I need one of these. Let's copy this and plunk one in here. New file, package.json. I will do this. Dynamic block template. Dynamic blocks. And I don't have a repo for it yet. So I will do that later. But then yeah, now I just need to publish the NPM, and this will be available because that's how we can use the create block package. Started by supporting templates that were hosted on NPM, which is super handy, but not always. Sometimes you want to have these internal things, like if you were an agency, for example, and you had a template that you wanted to share, but you didn't want to have it available to everyone in the world. That's where this sort of relative path templates came from. Cool. So I'm going to go through the process of publishing. You know what? Should I just do it? I think I have to set up some things. So I'll get this done. And block template, dynamic block, and maybe I'll just go through this. I'll just do this now. I'm gonna go to my repositories. I'll do this. A new repository. We'll call this dynamic block template. And we're gonna great. Okay. So I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say git init. Nope. Of course. Let's try this again. What? Get out of here. Kill terminal. There we go. Git init. And I'm gonna say git remote add origin, and then of course. This is probably just gonna blow up. Let's just see. Well, yeah, be like that. Oh, okay. Git remote. Okay, git. Okay, so that's been published. Great, so I have that. I'm gonna go, I guess I have to go through and just add all this stuff over here. Okay, so if I do this, then go into this npm, is it who? There we go, npm publish. All right, I gotta do that. Don't look. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so if I go to npm now, let's see what I have on npm. npm Ryan Wiltshire. We'll just go there and see what I. Oops. Packages. So we got dynamic block template. So we should be able to now. I need to add a README and everything, but we should be able to just to call it like this. So let's just go up to our. Actually, I'm gonna go to my repository. I'm gonna clear this first and go to my repositories directory. I'm gonna say npx. I'm gonna say create. I'm gonna say that. I go title is whatever, dynamic. And so what that should be doing, do you want to keep your npm? I don't. I don't do a ton with npm, but that sounds like something I would probably want to do. I don't know. I have to look. Okay, so hopefully this should be reaching out and downloading that template that I just published, and we'll have a block with the env package that we can play around with. Clarify, when you say dynamic blocks, you mean blocks that will render via PHP callbacks so don't need to save DS. Cat Learner, that's exactly what I mean. Yes, correct. Sorry, I should have been clear about that. Dynamic block does not save its content to the database. So that's what the save function does. It provides the content to be, the markup to be saved to the database. Dynamic block renders it on the fly via PHP. That's exactly what we're doing here. Great questions, Cat Learner. Really appreciate you coming. Thank you. Can I, some links to what, Paul? What would you like to see? Oh, that maybe? Hey, Aruba, welcome aboard. Thanks for dropping in. So this is the new template that I just did. And this is the dynamic block. So I'm going to definitely clean these up. What if you wanted to have one plugin to contain both dynamic and non-dynamic blocks? You can absolutely do that. Every block is its own island, if you will. Core, like what ships with Gutenberg, there are static blocks and dynamic blocks that ship with that. What you can't have is a dynamic and static block be the same block, if that makes sense. So you can absolutely have multiple blocks that do different things. It's just a way of handling the content at this point. All right, cool. So I don't even know. So what is this? What did I, of course, oh, CD test, right? This should be our code. So I'm going to open this up in code, and we should see that we have our plugin. We've got our node. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. We got a template. We got our package to JSON that pulls this in. We got all that fun stuff. And So the only thing we don't have is this env command that I want to add. So let me just, maybe that'll be something that we can add. Right, so that's it. So then now if I'm from in here, I should be able to run enp run enp run env start, and this should get our Docker environment running. It downloads WordPress every time and gets it all ready for you. While we wait for that, I'm just gonna. So I have so many windows open. This is definitely how I live my life, with way too many windows open. All right, let's look in here. So I think there's like a scripts thing that we can do. I think there's like a supports author npm dependencies. Okay, no, that's not what I want. So maybe there isn't. Maybe there isn't. What would be so what I'm looking for is the ability to add another script to our scripts in the package.json, if that makes sense. What? Oh, I may already have this running somewhere. Let me. Oh boy. I'm gonna restart Docker. I think I have this running in multiple places, and I think that's the problem there. Let's try that again. Until Docker's actually up and running. You can't see it, but I have a little icon in the top right there waiting for Docker to do its thing. Come on, there we go. Okay, so hopefully that'll work this time. I guess that's one problem of having too many environments, is that you can get into port conflicts. You can change that. The env package is pretty configurable. You can change what ports things are running on. It's all in that documentation that I shared earlier. So just wait for that. So anyways, what I was getting at was I would love it if we could say like these. So these things are built out, right? And it would be great if, actually that's a pull request for sure, because we can define that, yes, we want this installed. So I think if we do that, it should add a script to it. So I might try and do that, or if anyone's interested in doing that, that would be pretty handy dandy. That's right, I said handy dandy. All right, so let's look. So this is the thing that we just scaffolded, and we should get a working block in there. I'm not sure what a dynamic block is for us. Okay, Florida Coder Man. This is how it breaks down. Static block saves its content to the database. Dynamic block saves a reference to the position, but not the content. So a dynamic block is rendered by in PHP when the page is loaded. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well. So if you look at the database, you will see that there's these HTML comments. Let me see what I got here. Bear with one sec. So I'm gonna open up my database tool here. I'm gonna zoom in. If we look at the post content of any of this stuff, so let's look at right here. Okay, so let's look at this one. So if we edit this and we look, I'm gonna zoom this in. So this is the way that a static block stores its content. It's wrapped in these HTML comments, right? And then this would be the actual content inside of here, right? So in your save element, this would be returning a p tag with stuff, right? Oh, thanks, Anonymous. One bit. Thank you for the cheerer. Cheering? I don't know, whatever. And then a dynamic block does the same thing. So this is a dynamic block. I know it is because I built it, but this is storing the location, like where it sits in the page, but it doesn't store any of the actual markup. That's all rendered on PHP with that rendered callback function. What it does store is any parameters. Sorry, any attributes get stored as this sort of like this JSON object. it would be. Does that make a little bit more sense, Florida? It fundamentally comes down to whether or not the markup is saved in the database. That's sort of the 10,000 foot view. Yeah. Anyways, Paul, it would be nice to add a REST call to the template to render the PHP output in the editor. So you need the PHP to render it based on the block attributes. Yes, you do. So instead of doing like in the save, instead of returning like your markup with your attributes attached to things, you get those attributes in the PHP side as well, and then you just render it that way with PHP. Let me see if I have a better example. Paul, what you're talking about, you can do that. It's called, there's a server-side render component that you can pass everything to and have it render in the editor. I would discourage heavy usage of it because it can cause problems. So let me just see here. Clues. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is an example. So Florida, okay, sorry, then Paul, I'm not sure. What are you asking for then? I'm not following. So Florida, this is an example of a dynamic block, right? So we've got our callback function. Sorry, my PHPCS is is going nuts here. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, I'm okay. I'm gonna do this, and then we'll get back to your question there, Paul. Cool. So this is the render callback function. It's got the attributes and everything available to it, Florida. So you can do whatever you want, and then all you're doing is basically just returning markup. And so your question about could you do it with JS on the front end? Are the attributes available there? Are you talking like a headless sort of like JavaScript front end? Is that what we're kind of talking about? Because there are definitely ways of doing that. I need to know the specifics, I think, of what you're trying to do. So I keep looking at the chat window, which is over here, so that's why I'm not looking at the camera. Yeah. Sure, it doesn't necessarily have to be headless, right? Well, there is a block. So yeah, you can get post content. So you just want the attributes is what you're looking for. You can get it's possible, but you have to figure it all out. So you could render div and attributes for JS to use. Yeah, you could do that. I guess you could add the attributes as HTML attributes instead of in comments. Like when you are you talking about, so PHP renders the page and throws a bunch of attributes in there, like data attributes or whatever? Because yeah, you could do that. Because the PHP side, you could comments are stripped when it's parsed. So there's a parse block function in PHP that takes the content and looks and says, okay, there's a block here. I know that because of the comments, and then it parses it into into the markup, into the block, all that stuff, and runs the render callback function if that's what needs to be run. So there's a step between that. You can access the post content via like the REST API, but I don't think you'll get the raw stuff. I think you'll only get the you can do that. So in the save function, you would add the attributes manually. There's no save function. There's no save function. It returns null on the JavaScript side. On the PHP side, you would do that in the render callback function. I know I'm being a bit annoying about it, but there are some semantics there to be sure that we are being clear about. So okay, back to you, Paul. As part of the NPM package, you want me to add a server-side render component to the block editor? Is that what you're asking for? Yeah, this is the index for the, where's the save? So you can see my save function just returns null, Paul. Okay, well, that's doable, Paul, but I really don't like the server-side render function. It's not, I've seen it's should be used in sparingly, and depending on what this block is doing, you may not need it anyways. Like if you need to get, like, if you're doing a block, if you're doing a dynamic block that retrieves the 10 most, like if you're doing a block that retrieves the most recent tags, right? So on the PHP side, you would use PHP to render that and get the most recent ones. On the JavaScript side, instead of using a server-side render, which can be expensive, and you can actually hit like too many connection errors if you have too many of those things going on, and there's a bunch of problematic stuff going on there. I would actually do it in JavaScript. I'd use like get entity records and do it that way, because that's kind of what that's there for. You can use server-side render. I would just recommend not. So that's, and because this template thing is sort of pretty generic, I don't want to. I'm not going to make suggestions as to what it should be used for. But yeah. Anyways. It's a good suggestion. I'm just I'm gonna respectfully decline, Paul. Thank you. Yes, to the JS. Sorry, Paul. What are you talking about? What to the JS? Could I please outline the? Okay, I would take. Any of the examples in the Twitch repository that I have, specifically, multiple blocks, right? And I would copy this, create a folder for each block, and then you should be able to have the scripts package. It'll generate this stuff. Okay, thanks, Paul. I do appreciate your questions and suggestions. Please don't take what I was saying as in any way dismissive. And then you just build a block that is static or it's dynamic. These blocks are not related to each other. They don't need to be. These blocks are like each one is its own island, if you will, and you can definitely make this one static. For example, you can make them all static. You can make one static. You can make however many you want static or dynamic. Is completely up to you. The process of making a block static or dynamic is, if it's dynamic, your save function on the JavaScript side returns null, and you provide a render callback. If it's not, if it's a static block, then your save function returns the markup that needs to be saved. That's really what it comes down to. Does that make sense, Cat Learner? Like, there's not a more. Every block is its own thing, so you can make any block do whatever. So let me know if that answers your question or makes it more confusing. I'd be happy to try to clarify. So I would use the create blocks package. I'm working with the build process of it. Okay, so here's what I would do. Welcome to the chat, folks. Cat Learner, this is what I would do. I would install the WordPress scripts package, similar to what we had just done. So I would install. Let me grab the link. Where is it? Where did I put it? I would install the scripts package, which is right here. It's the first thing that I would do. Okay, so that's going to provide you with the build process that you need in order to build your blocks. Okay, and then I would put each block in its own directory with a block.json and all the files that it needs inside of a source directory. So source/block1, block2, block3, whatever. Okay, and then that is going to so the newest version of scripts is going to be able to parse through and find each one of those blocks and build them out for you. And then you just need to register them. You can use anything in the Twitch repository, anything in this repo as an example, because we do a lot of multiple block stuff in there. The dynamic, and beyond that, it's hard to really get into specifics, but there's a couple of ways that you can do things. Yes, the latest version of scripts finds all the blocks.json, JSON packet, JSON files, and treats them as entry points and gives you a discrete block for each one. That's super exciting. That's new. That's relatively new. So I would highly recommend that. Then you don't need to worry about your build process. You don't need to worry about messing with Webpack or any of that stuff. Now it's different if you have an existing build that you want to work with, but that's a story for another day, though, I think. Yeah, great questions, Cat Learner. Thank you. Great questions. Yeah. So that'll just handle it for you. And then the env package, which we talked about, which is, I think it's just env, is that it? Will provide you with a local development environment. That's this one. And that, so between those two, you can build and work and mess with it. So, but you can use anything you want. If you use local, like I'm using, like today I've been using a combination of local for like my sort of Twitch stuff, and then I use the env just to quickly get us up and running with some things. So, yeah. Anyways, really appreciate everyone hanging out today and listening to me ramble about 3 different seemingly unrelated topics. I appreciate it. Cool. Well, it's almost, it's like 12:35, so I'm a little over the normal time. I'm kind of out of topics, but if there's anything else that anyone wants to kind of discuss again, or if you have questions or anything, let me know. I'm just gonna drink coffee for a second. You tell me what you think. All right. Well, Paul, if you're still here, my plan is to have a what the deuce command ready for you for next week. And trying to think of my next block to publish. Well, I can't help you there. There are so many blocks, I don't even know. What about a block pattern? You can publish block patterns to the directory, I believe, as well. So that the idea that you had for a video and transcript block might be a cool one. Or a pattern, I should say, might be a cool idea to look at. Yeah, can you do it from a plugin? Can you do what from a plugin? Yep, Cat Learner, I have that one too. That's a bit older one. Okay, Paul, thanks for coming. I appreciate you and all your questions. Anytime, you're always welcome. I tried and it rendered add patterns. Not in 2022. I tried and it rendered in 2021 blocks, but not in 2022. Interesting. So you registered a block pattern and it didn't work in 2022. Like you didn't see the block pattern at all. So a plugin can absolutely register a block pattern. I just did that. You know what? Let's see. Let's get into. Where am I here? Oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, that's not what. Where am I? Stop. Okay. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to go into, this is my example. I saw it, but it was broken in the preview. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I just registered a block. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to enable 2022. I go into my plugins and deactivate that one. This was the deactivate that one. This is the block level one. So let's take a look. So I'm gonna go into a new post. That's okay. No, I'm interested to see. So in my pattern, I go into text and I've got, so that's my pattern that I registered. Now this is pretty basic. The styling was off, I think, from the attributes. Oh, in the preview? Interesting. It could be, I don't know. I'd like to see an example of that. It could be that, like, so did it have did your blocks or whatever you're building, does it have sort of styles or like states that are dependent on attributes? And if so, do they have default values? That's the first thing that I'm thinking, because I've seen that before where it's like you need to have a default value, but when it previews, it can't preview a default value if it doesn't have one. So that'd be where I would start. It has it requires defaults, or it has them already. It has defaults that you've provided, or it requires defaults but they were missing. I mean, renders perfectly an example in 2022, 2021. That's weird. Have you? I know there's some styling quirkiness with. Okay. So it sounds like you're doing it right. So to be clear, this is in WordPress 5.9, but just 2 different themes. Correct. Okay. Weird. Might be worth trying to open a ticket in GitHub. It might be just adding some specifics. It could be that maybe the theme doesn't support a certain thing that the other one does, or there's something in theme JSON that's kind of conflicting. I know there's some styling stuff going on where there's some sort of global styling that conflicts with some things, but that's interesting. I'd be really I would love to see the example. I think it's related to background color. Okay. Oh, so I wonder if there's a so 2022. Let's see. I wonder, does 2022? This is completely the wrong package here. Where am I? Get rid of that. So let's look at the in here. I wonder if 2022 is defining anything in this theme.json, like a background color somewhere. Color. We're gonna go custom spacing, styles, color. So it is defining a background color, and I wonder if that's it. I wonder if you need to have, are these custom blocks? If they're custom blocks, you might need to get in there and turn background color off on a block. So that could be what it is. It could be because it's defining a background color and somehow it's getting that background color for things. Custom block. Yeah. I tried messing around with it, supports in your block. Where am I here? What's this thing? Nope, not there. I think you can supports. You can get into color, and you can say back. Oh, you can say back. If you don't want a background, I don't know if this is the case though. I think you can turn background off, so it doesn't support background color. That's a control. I don't know if that's gonna help or not though. So that might be the thing. Anyhow. Yeah, I would definitely dive into it a bit over the weekend if you can, and if there's a ticket to open in GitHub, that would be great, and link it. Or I might need a background color default value. Yeah, you might. Yeah, the theme. Yeah, that stuff kind of changes the game a little bit. So, the theme JSON and all the background colors and stuff. So you probably want to hard code some background. I would try that, and that's probably what it is. It's probably just getting overridden by something, further up the cascade or whatever. But, cool, awesome. Well, thanks everyone. I think I'm gonna call it. It's almost 1 o'clock my time. 12:44, which is not really almost 1 o'clock, but anyways, I'm gonna go grab some lunch and hang out. But thanks so much for hanging out with me, and hopefully, is there any benefit in using your multiple blocks pattern? Duplicate folders. Cat Learner, the multiple blocks template predates the changes to scripts. So I would say no, probably not. There's no benefit to using it. I will be updating it so we can do that. It was just more of a starting point, and because that one you have to copy paste. It does provide, I think it does provide actually an inner template. So you can probably use pieces of it, definitely. Yeah. That's kind of what the multiple blocks is doing anyways. You have to duplicate folders manually. Thank you, Florida Coder Man. Appreciate you. You always bring a certain level of class to this stream, and I appreciate you for it. Okay, baby time is sharing all the knowledge. Hey, no problem. I stream every Thursday, same time. So you please feel free to come back with questions and comments, or just to laugh at me typoing as many times as possible. So, anyways, I'm gonna call it. Thank you everyone for coming and hanging out, and I will see you next week. Later.